Hey! In the midst of all the games that I cover here on the channel, you'd think I'd give some more space to classics, but not just classics as in Need for Speed Most Wanted or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but more like Super Metroid or Castlevania, or even Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, it turns out I'm a little bit afraid of going back that far and talking about beloved classics simply because of how the people who love these games would react to it. I mean, I feel like I'm in a good position to talk about Need for Speed since it's a series that I've been following for so long and replayed so many times. But playing some of these for the first time and complaining about things that people may not agree with come with its downsides. People on the channel have been pretty supportive, letting me know of mistakes I've made, them being on purpose or not, but sometimes, just sometimes, there's some communities that I'm really afraid of because of their reputation. But today's the day where I put my big boy pants on and say, you know what? I don't really care, and talk about what used to be my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game. And it's not even a game about Sonic! Welcome boys and girls to Shadow the Hedgehog. Growing up as a kid, I always loved Super Mario games, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario World, Super Mario Tennis, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario Miners, Super Mario Accountant, and my personal favorite, Super Mario on Crack. I didn't own a Sega Genesis, but I remember going to my friend's house and first experiencing Sonic. It was horrible. I tried rushing through the levels just to get hit by stuff that I couldn't see, and when my friend played, he slowly took his time and got through the levels, which was really confusing to me considering the entire idea of Sonic is going super fast. And I did it in Super Mario World. But hey, sometimes you just gotta understand that some things are just not for you, which I did, so I simply moved on. However, the shadow of Sonic, no pun intended, didn't stop following me. And whenever I heard people talking about Sonic, I'd never understood the hype behind it, and only really tried it again when the PS2 games came out. Sonic Heroes, Sonic Unleashed, and today's subject, Shadow the Hedgehog. This one was the best for me. The whole idea of getting Sonic, making him emo and use guns was so awesome to me that I didn't even care what the gameplay was like. It was an awesome game just because it was edgy. But today we're gonna go back and explore that. Was the game any good? How well does it hold up? Am I gonna get cancelled? Stay tuned. Our game begins with a cutscene of Shadow reloading his gun and looking over the city before a montage of cool things happens. It is probably one of the most over-the-top things I've ever seen in my life, to the point where it stops being cringy and it becomes weirdly cool again. I cannot explain how funny the idea of guns being in this game is to me, and I love it. Not only that, but you get a banging song in the background called I Am All of Me, where the guy sings the following. I see and feel the evil. My hands will crush them all. You'll think you have the answers. I'll laugh and watch you fall. Black-hearted evil or brave-hearted hero. I am all. I am. All I am. And it's weird how any day I would laugh at this, but I swear, this game got so cringy it became funny, and then it became so funny that it's actually cool. I love it. The first cutscene explains what's going on at the moment. Shadow has a big case of Alzheimer and can't remember who he is, how he got there, or why is everything exploding. The only thing that comes to mind is his name and a memory of a girl called Maria getting shot. Child abuse. Awesome. Creatures attack the city in the background. The Shadow, of course, ignores it because humans are pathetic, but is then interrupted by an alien demanding that he finds the 7 Chaos Emeralds and give it to him. So because the aliens seem to know him, he decides to get into the fight and find out who he is and what is going on. And that's when we are thrown into the game. We also meet Sonic, but I'll talk more about this later. And because of that, let's talk a bit about the gameplay in this game. It sucks. Keep in mind, I'm playing the PS2 version, which is the one that I played as a kid, so this might not be the same for the other versions, as the PS2 is apparently the weaker console of the generation. At first I had the same problem I had with the original Sonic the Hedgehog because I kept trying to speedrun the game and beat the level as fast as possible, but doing that made so I couldn't do any turns because the character was so fast that he couldn't move to the sides. So I went back and tried taking my time. You have one path to take in this level, but different missions. So you can join the Dark Forces and kill the soldiers that are fighting in the city. Oh, you like that, Sonic? You like when I shoot your fellow soldiers? You can join Sonic and the humans and kill the aliens that are attacking the city. Oh, you like that, alien? Or you can ignore everything and just go to the end of the level. This happens in every level in the game, where you can choose what to do and with each choice you have a different outcome. So if you decide to join the good side, you'll end up in a level. If you decide to join the evil side, you'll end in a different level. There is a total of 10 endings in the game, so trust me, replayability isn't going to be an issue here. The problem for me is, there's one extra ending in the game which is the true ending. And guess what you have to do to unlock it? I'll give you a minute to think, and you have to unlock all the other endings in the game. But again, I'll talk more about the endings later in the video. You can of course move around with the left analog stick, which is very janky, and I swear whenever you take a hit, the rings fall perfectly around you and I can never collect them all because of it. You can also get 2 special attacks, one by destroying stuff and killing soldiers, which gives you Chaos Blast, a blast of energy that destroys everything around you. And if you do good and kill all the monsters, you get Chaos Control, which lets you skip a part of the level you're in. And of course, you can not only attack by pressing X twice and doing a homing attack, but you can also press square and hit enemies. Of course though, you rarely do that, as you can instead get an MP5 and shoot everything in sight. Much more viable. Can we talk about the soundtrack a little bit? I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I actually love the music in this game. It has songs in it made by Crush 40, which apparently is known for making more songs in other Sonic games. Julian K, which apparently also did some of the songs, and Powerman 5000? Well, that was really unexpected. If you don't know them, maybe you might know one of their songs called When Worlds Collide. Now this is what it's like when worlds collide. You ready to go? 'Cause I'm ready to go. It is actually awesome, very metal, and definitely fits the whole edgy vibe this game has. And as far as my knowledge goes, all of these were made specifically for this game, as there's no copyright for them on YouTube, unless this video gets demonetized. Then we'll find out I was wrong. The cutscenes in this game. I'm pretty mixed on that. I was having problem doing my gameplay because for some reason the audio was completely desynchronized, which led to some very funny cutscenes like this one.
CIA's mainframe has been compromised. We're investigating the incidents now. It is a strong possibility that this was also committed by the Black Aliens.
But besides that, I think it's just fine. They look pretty janky whenever they are in-game, but that's normal for PS2 games. But the thing that I cannot understand is the story itself. I swear, this game makes absolutely no sense. So I was going through the game and I went to space. And in space, I found the Ark, which apparently is where Maria is. According to the Sonic Wiki, Maria has a terminal illness and is unable to leave the Ark, which was going to be destroyed. So we go around destroying these things, and after we do, we get locked inside this thing for some reason. I don't know, the level ends and then we are inside the thing. So we're sent back to Earth and we find that there's a comet that passes through Earth once every 50 years. And we wonder if it has anything to do with the creatures, so this happens.
Once every 50 years, that black comet passes by this planet. Oh, do you think those black creatures are somehow connected with that comet?
Okay, Sonic, you should probably choose your words more carefully. And that's a thing that keeps happening throughout the game, all the time. Just listen to this.
Disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight. Hey Shadow, long time no see. Looks like these black creatures really mean business. Come on, let's hunt down the black creatures.
So Shadow and Sonic fight for absolutely no reason, and we then get to the ending. Are you following me here? Because I have no idea where this is going. The story is extremely convoluted and probably made by different people with no contact to each other. It is all over the place and it makes no sense, but again, when we get to the ending, you understand how this game has more than 10. It is basically the same endings with a small change to the voice lines, where Shadow just decides he's doing something else. Nothing really happens and the game just ends. Also, there's this ending, which is extremely depressing.
I am Shadow the Hedgehog, a research experiment gone deadly wrong. I've caused so much destruction. I should never have been created. This is who I am.
Hey, don't go there! Yet, things may not be what they seem. You could be.
And in the true ending, which I definitely unlocked by playing the game 20 times, ends up with Shadow turning into Super Saiyan mode or whatever and using Chaos Control to move the comet into space where the Ark destroys it. The rest of the group commemorates, Shadow appears in the Ark and says goodbye to himself and throws a picture of Maria away. I have no idea if Maria died before, why she died again, what any of these means. Maybe I just had to have played every single possible ending to understand what is going on with this game, but I'm fine not understanding what is going on. For me, this game is something else. Don't get me wrong, nostalgia is one of the reasons that I still enjoy this game, but if you're in for some dumb, seamless fun, this is a great one. The game isn't anything super special by itself, the gameplay is just fine, your console is not gonna explode like some AVGN skit, and yes, the voice acting and cutscenes are awful, but they do have some weird charm to them. There are some levels that are cool, there are others that I absolutely hate and had to spend more than 40 minutes trying to get out of it, but hey, I'm still alive. Also, I found out that you can play this game in co-op mode, so if you have a friend that you don't really like, making him play this game as player 2 might be a good idea. Now, am I go back to play this game again? Probably not. But maybe it's something you should play just to be able to talk about the most edgy game on the PS2 to your friends. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll be as cool as Shadow the Hedgehog, or this person. But anyway, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you leave a like. It really helps me a lot. And yeah, I guess that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.